Welcome back to the Shuffle Squad. Zach Lesage here. Today we're going to be covering over Terapagos EX with Bouffalant and Noctowl. Now, typically these videos are going to be every single Thursday for PTCG live videos, alongside Mondays for our main deck Mondays. But in this case, we covered the top 10 best decks yesterday on Thursday, so everyone has an extra day with the top 10 decks to prepare for Atlanta Regionals. This deck has kind of been taking off after top players like Luke Morsa, Celios Network made top 4 at an online regional championship-like event. It focuses on using Terapagos EX like it would in any other deck. We want that large area 0 bench, spread it out, and then do 240 damage with Terapagos EX. Now, we use the Noctowl engine to search out whatever we want because we got some Terra Pokemon in play. We got the Cornerstone, we got the Terapagos, and gathering all the pieces like Crispin to power it up since we no longer have double turbo energy. Now, Bouffalant allows us to reduce our opponent doing 60 damage to our Terapagos, and we can even increase our HP a little bit more by using Bravery Charm. This build has some disruption cards like Counter Catcher, and typically I think Prime Catcher is going to be a better A spec than what we've seen in other lists that play Scoop Up Cyclone, because we can still always use Professor Turo in a pinch. With all of these cool techs, including Munkidori that can throw damage back at your opponent's Pokemon to either heal or do extra damage, it seems like a really cool deck that a lot of people are not necessarily expecting for Atlanta, but I do think many top players are going to be playing very similar decks to this as we approach the event. Now, there's a QR code on top of the Terapagos. You can go ahead and scan that with your device if you're able to. It will take you to the My Limitless deck building page, and you can import that to PTCG Live, save it to your My Limitless decks, or change it however you like. The list is also available in the description, so you can copy and paste that right into live if you want to play along with this video. Give this video a like, share, subscribe, and of course, let me know in the comments what you think of Terapagos EX, or just say anything. It really helps boost the YouTube algorithm, and I know a lot of y'all have been helping out lately, so I appreciate all the help. Let's jump into some PTCG Live gameplay and see what's up. So we're waiting on our opponent to flip that coin. Let's hope that they don't get heads, because we really want to go first in this game if possible. They ended up getting the heads, but we still have a chance for them to choose to go second. It just gets an extra chance to set up with Fan Rotom since we don't play any cards like Arvin. Our opponent's going first. That's okay. It looks like we'll just play second. Our deck should be good either, so that's cool. Now, this is looking like a pretty good start when it comes down to it. I'm fine starting with Latias EX. And we could even use Crispin to attack turn 1 with whatever we have. We have enough to attack with our Fan Rotom. We have enough to attack with Terapagos. Our opponent might just go Pokemon Pass, and that might be it for them. I did put the QR code in the bottom right-hand corner, so if you're watching this video and playing along, maybe it's on your TV. That's how I watch a lot of my YouTube. You can always scan it and get the deck list there. Okay, so we're playing against a Dango deck. That's fine. Let's see what our opponent does here. They probably should be going second since their deck is an Arvin based deck, so I'm not too sure why they would kind of go first, but the Buddy Poffin is paying off for them. They wanted to go second because of TM Evolution. Now, I think since our opponent has a single prize card Pokemon in active, we probably want to go and get a single prize card Pokemon out ourselves. And since we have the Crispin, I kind of want to just attack with what we have going on. So let's go Nest Ball, and what we want to do is probably go for Ditto, since we're going to be transforming into a Fan Rotom as well. So let's go ahead and make that happen. We already have the free retreat. So let's go retreat into Ditto. And it's probably going to be a matchup where I want to use Cornerstone Ogerpon as well. So since we can't attack with the turn 1 with Crispin, I'm just going to try to start kind of slowly setting it up. Let's use Transformative Start. I wish it was called Splup and it was the other way around. But let's go for the Fan Rotom and make sure that we have most of the pieces here. Still have access to another Nest Ball. Typically only want to have one Noctowl out in our hand. So let's just go Fan Call. We're going to go ahead and go Hoothoot. Since we do play Buddy Poffin, I'm actually going to grab these Hoothoots. I'm going to grab this Noctowl. And that seems generally fine. We don't have another Hoothoot in our hands, so that's cool. We'll grab those. Let's put this down. Let's put this down. Let's put down our Cornerstone Ogerpon. And I think I just want to grab out a Bouffalant, just because it gives us the opportunity to have Curly Wallet in play. Now, we have access to Crispin, and I'm just going to go ahead and use Crispin. When it comes to energies that we want, I'm going to grab one of these, and then I'm going to grab a Psychic Energy. Psychic Energy is going to go into my play, so I want to put this into my hands. And let's go ahead, load up the Fan Rotom. Let's load up the Cornerstone. Our opponent does have abilities on most of their Pokemon, so that's why we're going with Cornerstone in this matchup. And could I put down the Pegos? Yes. I don't really want to discard anything right now. I don't want to use Ultra Ball right now. I'd like to get out another Bouffalant, but honestly wanted to have double Hoothoots. So let's just go for Assault Landing, taking a single prize card knockout on our opponent, forcing our opponent to find a boss, a counter catcher, or just taking a single prize card Pokemon in return, allowing us to really start forcing the kind of prize trade into our favor. I love my water bottle. I just took the top off and it kind of got stuck off there. Okay, maybe we're gonna go lidless for a while. Let's adjust this. Okay, so they are playing pretty cool tech card, the Togekiss. I have seen that in other Dango builds, but it doesn't change the fact that they probably use that space to have a counter to Cornerstone, and they probably don't have a counter to Cornerstone. There's no more canceling Cologne in our format, so that's why Pokemon like Cornerstone, having Cornerstone stance, are so powerful. And since these Pokemon have abilities, we can use Cornerstone to wall them, and then maybe later on in the game we can attack with Unified Beatdown to really make things happen. So let's not try to put down too many extra Pokemon that our opponent can take prize cards against. Even though we have Cornerstone, Boss's Orders, Prime Catcher, Counter Catcher, Iron Bundle all exist. So I'm totally cool if our opponent takes a knockout on the Fan Rotom. I want to start chipping away with Cornerstone Ogerpon EX next turn. And if they take out a Latias, that's fine. That's dandy. It is what it is. But Noctowl should be able to search out whatever missing pieces we have. Whether it's from Glass Trumpet, Energy Switch, something, or like we'll just see how it ends up playing out here. So yeah, our opponent's probably going to get a knockout on our active. That's fine. We'll see if they have another Pokemon that might be able to attack. You never know when they're going to put down a Dunsparce, so they have a Dunsparce EX, or maybe it's just going to be another gimme here. With the Togekiss, they actually could take extra prize cards, so that could be like low-key annoying. Something to consider. Probably would like to take that out before anything else, to be honest, because I'd hate for our opponent to be able to go boss, double prize, double prize. If they get a little bit lucky with their extra prize cards, they could win the game. And we know that they have enough energies to go after the Fan Rotom. Bouffalant here would be like a little bit like nice to have a second Bouffalant, but what if they just went after Hoothoot, right? And then our hand is not great. So sometimes it's that balance between finding another curly wall. Sometimes it's better to do that, sometimes it's not. But this ended up working out pretty good for us. So they're going to take the 2. That's still fine. It only would have cost them 1 more energy, and I don't think that would have hurt them too much. Let's end up Cornerstone, because that's going to be our best bet here. And let's see what we top deck. Well, the Crispin already works out fantastic for us. So I think what I'm going to do is going to go Crispin here. Crispin grabbing 2 different energies, because you have to. One of them is going to go onto the Cornerstone Ogerpon, and the other one's going to go on a Cornerstone Ogerpon. So we're set up, ready to go. I wanted to double check my deck to see if there's anything else that I wanted to put there. I think in this case, I might just go Noctowl. Since we already played our supporter, I probably want to go for Prime Catcher if we have it in our deck. And we do have Prime Catcher. We're not behind on prize cards. Is there anything else that I want to put into play? Maybe I'm going to put down another Bouffalant just in case, because we already have our Iono. It doesn't look like our opponent could do too much else, so I'm generally okay with this. Ultra Ball searches for a Noctowl. One thing when you're playing these Terra-based decks, always try to have another Noctowl in your hand, or a way to search out Noctowl, or a supporter card in your hand, so your deck can keep on keeping on. I don't want to put other 2 prize card Pokemon in play. They're probably not going to be doing any damage, so I don't want to be doing Munkidori right now, but it wouldn't be bad to put down Munkidori either. Let's just go Prime Catcher, and we're going to take out this so that they can't go Boss's Orders and start taking extra prize cards on our Pokemon. Since we have the power of free retreat technology with Skyliner, let's retreat back. send this up, and let's go demolish sending this Pokemon all the way to the discard pile. So we're up another prize card, and we have 4 left to go. I'm hoping to basically 2-shot 2 Goldango EX to win the game, but maybe later on in the game we can have a Terapagos set up ready to go knockout on a Fezandipiti. So I'm looking to win the game in 3 to 4 turns in general. If our opponent puts down something else, maybe we can make it a little bit more aggressive, but unless they overbench, or we can get a knockout with Lillie's Clefairy or win the game quicker. We've already used our 2 copies of Crispin in this deck. Maybe we want to have a third one. Maybe we play 3. I don't honestly remember. Check it out. We do have this Dango, and like they could hit us for 90 more damage, but they should have sent that up if they were trying to attack with it. Like, the Bouffalant's not going to do any damage reduction here. It's just in case we have to protect our colorless Pokemon. But like low-key, putting this Dango down might have been a bit of a flop, a bit of a misplay, because they want to use Strike It Rich, hit us for 120, and then hit us for 120 again. They don't have the free retreat option like we do with Latias EX. It's just my basic Pokemon, and this isn't even a basic Pokemon. So they'd have to play like a switch. They've already played an Energy Search Pro, I'm pretty sure. Yep, so they don't play Prime Catcher. So Dango might just have a tough time getting out all these pieces. Like, maybe they'll draw on his switch and a Metal Energy and hit us for 120. That's fine. That's about as far as they're going to get here. And I'd like to, at that point, I try to get out Munkidori to start moving damage counters around. So that if they go 120, like, I want to just at least move the damage counters. They need to have another Gimmighoul down, but it seems like they might just end up going pass. Because I don't think they play counter catcher. Maybe they play 1 counter catcher, but they can't play Boston Iono in the same turn, and they already played Iono. So knowing what your opponent can do is fantastic. It looks like we're just going to be able to beat the Goldango deck in general, so that's cool. They just didn't have an answer to Cornerstone Ogerpon. We could have really just done a lot of different things. Like, this deck is going to play like a Terra box where you're going to use Cornerstone in some matchups. You're going to use Lillie's Clefairy in others. You're going to use Terapagos as kind of your daily driver Pokemon in others. But it's kind of like a defensive Terra box deck. So I could show 100,000 games, or I could show you really how this one's set up, and we took the prize cards and went through the prize trade. I'm probably going to cover this one in a kind of like a group class setting in the future. So we'll leave it at that. But if you want to see more about this deck, let me know. I'll probably look to do some tabletop gameplay with Blake in the future. Yeah, in between recording the gameplay and kind of going through this scene, I'm like, yeah, you want to know what? Let's push some content with Blake for next week as we approach Monterey Regionals with the Terapagos EX, kind of showing how it's defensive and how it could be really good against like a deck like Terra Box and how it could play out. So I think that's what we're going to end up recording this week to put out for next week. So stay tuned for more content. I'm still not 100% certain, but should be able to connect with Blake, get some gameplay recorded of this deck. Again, it's going to be kind of like defensive Terra box. So every game's going to play out differently, but I hope that some of the gameplay that we showcase here allows you to kind of think about how the deck plays out. I think it's a really cool deck, super underrated, and definitely a deck that a few top players are going to play to Atlanta. So stay tuned, see exactly how it goes. If you're trying to prepare for any upcoming tournaments, get better at the game, improve in any capacity, hit me up on metafy.gg/@ZachLassage. I have my group there, so if you want to be part of that community, get access to all of my deck lists for all of the decks, even the ones that aren't even the top 10, premium post guides, and my weekly Metafy classes. That's all there too. So I'll let you all have a great weekend. I'm not in Atlanta this weekend. I know it's weird, but I'm pretty much locked for my invite at 720 championship points. And I'm going to be in Monterey, so I'm super excited about that. I will catch up with all y'all later. Have a great weekend. And if you're at Atlanta, do your best. Peace out and have a great one. support the Shuffle Squad, be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes.
Tabi no hajimari wa tsune ni michi e no ippo de aru. Sore wa yami e to tsuzuku. Hajime no ippoを踏み出すには勇気がいる。そして旅の終わりには旅を始めた時の自分とは別人になっているかもしれない。旅に出よう。物語の次の章がお主を待っている。将軍の道を歩め。侍の箱とともに。アルティメットガードが送る冒険の第一章。刀将軍の道近日発売。
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed the content that we have today, and maybe you'll click on one of these other videos, enjoy those videos too. If you haven't already, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments what video you want to watch next. Until next time, we'll catch up with all y'all later. Have yourself a great day.